I'm going to throw
right.
up a line now.
Yeah. So welcome everyone. This event is hosted by the Costa Rica Project, and the Costa Rica Project is a global initiative of people interested in the things that we are interested in. Building community, healing ourselves and the planet, doing fun work, and cool life-changing projects together. So if you're interested, you can visit us at thecostaricaproject.com. And my name is Brittany, and this is...
I'm Jason.
All right. Yeah, and just want to give a shout out to Big Marker, and also just really grateful everyone is here. Yeah, we're going to share some really cool stuff with you all today. And right now, Jason is getting this mind map up that we're going to talk about.
See that effectively?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the objective today in this webinar is to present our new industry that, yeah, we're just kind of getting it together. But I'll let you take it away, Jason.
Word. Greetings, peeps. So the Costa Rica Project is basically a group of folks that got together after level 2 detox class with Dr. Morse, and been meeting weekly, and ultimately just a think tank of what to do with what we've got and how to unify. And something that came out of this think tank, if you will, is the concept of becoming an association. And really every industry has associations, and as we are really an industry unto our own, an association unto ourselves isn't necessarily a bad idea, at least conceptually. So we've put some stuff together and wanted to bring it forward to a larger group of people to get insights, feedback, questions, concerns, comments. And so, yeah, but then we also hit up Dr. Morse with this information, and he seemed pretty excited. So we have put together some clips from the Skype meeting that we had with Dr. Morse, and we'll be showing those as this goes on. So I will be asking Miss Brittany to hit play on the YouTube videos occasionally as we move through the mind map. Imagine this will probably take about 20 to 30 minutes in total, and then we'll have another 20 to 30 minutes to share and discuss whatever comes to mind. So please take notes as things go on if you have questions for that period of time. So hop into it. As I mentioned, every industry has associations. I've been involved in many industries and many associations personally, and I imagine other folks out there as well. So just like any industry, be it medical, education, food, energy, everybody's working in the same field, not necessarily taking the same approach. Diversity is key. But now, one thing that does ultimately end up unifying is the fact that they form associations, and these associations create somewhat of guidelines for people to follow along, and then also, provide tools, tips, tricks of the trade, and what have you. So that's something that we could see as beneficial to ourselves as a community. So what we have come up with is the concept of an association of responsible detoxification. So, and again, it's the strength in numbers thing is really it. Dr. Morse makes a great point to that, and I think we should really just let him say it. Miss Brittany, you care to hit play for the first couple Dr. Morse clips?
Sure.
That's the answer, is a powerful association. Is it's just what they do. This is exactly what they do, the AMA. As a matter of fact, the AMA is so bad now that a lot of medical doctors don't even belong to them. But this association would be like no other.
Yes.
And that's just what you're saying.
Really? Yeah, Carolyn, I agree. Goosebumps. I guess I should just mute.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I hear you.
okay. So that was pretty much what we were really psyched to share a bit of. And now, Miss Brittany, if you would care to run with the focus element.
Yeah, I can't see the mind map though.
You there? You see it now?
Mm-mm. Oh, it's loading. We got like a lot of tech in here today. All right, so the focus of our industry here is mostly health education and self-advocacy, right? We don't want to compete with the Western medical system. We're not into treatment-based thinking. We're not into helping, or not into curing people. We're not doing things for people, right? We're just trying to lay out the education so people can take it and run with it and empower themselves and their selves, right? This is why it's a new industry, because because we are health educators. Yeah, doing things with people, not for the people. And this stuff that we're sitting on is so simple and so based in truth. You know, it's made it so that I can go out and I can interact with nature and I understand things more fully. I see things with a wider perspective, and it's totally empowered me, and I know it's empowered you too. So that is what we're really out to do, is help people take back their power. And just the language that we're using is not a treatment-based language either. You know, we're not curing diseases, as even Dr. Moore says. We're not curing diseases. Diseases is the language and the words that the doctors use. We are simply getting back to simplicity. We're getting back to the two sides of chemistry. We're getting back to the interaction in this world that we have with the cells and the fluids and the energy. So that's kind of where our focus is. And what else we got?
Marketing stuff.
Cool, yeah. I mean, we're going to infiltrate. We're planning on infiltrating every, little pocket of our society. We want to go to the schools. I mean, kids get it, right? This is simple and it makes sense. Kids love eating fruit. It just makes sense. And it's about time, like Prospera says. Jason and I was just talking about this. Our society is addicted to mucus and pus, and we have to change the consciousness with this. So taking it to the schools, taking it to the elderly communities, because this stuff that's going on in these communities is unacceptable. It's just straight up unacceptable. So we want to really make these programs to infiltrate these areas. Also, we're working on some premium packages. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been working with people for a few years now, and I'm tired of working with the people that are just not ready to commit. It's like, how committed are you? If it's anything other than a 10 on a scale from 1 to 10, you're not committed. You gotta commit to your health. You commit to life. You want to live or you want to die. And so pretty much just designing programs, packages for people who want to live is at least, I think what we're really wanting to focus on, so.
I would just like to add to that how through the marketing of an association, which is when, take the schools, for example. If you go into a school, there's always some form of propaganda about food and the food groups and the ratios, and the propaganda is coming from an association, right? And so it's already there. It's just, but one I just saw at a school recently, it said protein, and it had the picture of a chicken leg. Like, protein is made from amino acids. And we know that. And so, really just aiding to get into these markets ultimately, and which then creates that much more edge for other specialists, if you will, or people who have understandings of these things to go and educate all of these various groups and individuals, really increasing our efficacy in the world. So, yeah.
Are you using permaculture verbiage here, Jason?
Yeah.
Edge. I like that word too, though. Well said. And it's cool because what we're going to bring to the schools in respect to, we're not giving dietary recommendations, we're just telling them to stop eating mucus and pus. Yeah. So our priorities, so many priorities, but.
Well, how about, before you roll into the priorities, how about we roll some more Dr. Morse?
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Can you get back?
The doc, driving it home.
Well said.
Okay.
Cool. So,
Let's
yeah,
see.
some of the priorities that we've been working on so far is this association, detox immersions, which are like 3 days, intensive, where we'll just set up, in different parts all over North America or wherever you are. I mean, you have the option where we want to set up blueprints so that it's easy, just like a blueprint so you can take it and run with it and make it your own if you want to, but so that you can hold little retreats, mini retreats, just go through and help educate people. And we have a summit that we're working on. Ideally, we have the vision of doing it either a week before or a week after Level 2 in October 2015. So yeah, going down there and interacting with the new graduates of Level 2. And we have a virtual wellness center that we, so this wellness center, we want it to be just very like, there's somebody there on call for people who like need help, and then set it up so that we work as a team with clients too, so it's not so overwhelming to have to just deal with your clients one-on-one. We can set it up so that they're in groups, make it much more efficient. Let's start using our time wisely. And I mean, for me, I feel like I want to, total stage 4, working as a team, as a tribe, and supporting people. We can offer so much more value to people when we work as a team. So many of us also have different areas of expertise or different passions, and we are then going to be able to offer that at a different level. And then, making like more YouTube videos. Yeah, sure. Here's Quinn. You gonna say hi? Okay. YouTube's roundtables, Q&As. Dr. Morse has mentioned that the people who met with him talked to him about taking some of the load off of him with all of his questions that he receives, and then we could just kick back the ones that are, because where we are right now, we're just constantly stuck in this cycle of the same questions, the same people wanting help with their specific case, when actually if they just sit and watched a few hours of his videos, you can figure it out yourself, and so we really need to start getting this message across to empower yourself. And there's so much more we can be doing if we get this this energy out of the way that's pulling us back into the same redundant stuff. And then big one here, big priority is seeking triad members, right? So some of us have been working in triads. We're just waiting for some of the rest of you to come on and say that you're ready to start working on these projects that we have, because we have, as you can see here, we have a lot that we're working on, and so much has been done in just the 4 months that we've been working on these things. Carolyn says a priority to find our collaborators and building our bridges with healers and with our world in need. It's really cool to see how much we can accomplish together, right? Thank you, Stacy. And And it's fun too, like Hector's mentioned before, just working in these triads. I love working with you people. I love interacting with you people, and it makes it fun. And I really enjoy it. Do you have anything to say to that, Jason?
Not really. I guess I'll feel so triad members. So triad basically, if you aren't familiar, this means groups of three. Three is the first circle. So it keeps it small and tight, but keeps it going around. And so really we've just been working in predominantly groups of three, and then coming back to the overall group of 4 or 5 people, and sharing what the groups of three have come up with, and that's how this whole process has equated to where we are at the moment. And like Brittany said, it's really been exciting, and awesome just hanging out with people from the level 2 course. It's
From our
all the family. And if you are on this webinar and not from that course, you're the family too. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we've got work to do. So, what we envision from this is perhaps to stir up some energy, not just people energy, but green energy also. Every association seeks money, and in the sense of forming an association, there's some legal elements necessary. Dr. Morse, as you will see in a clip coming up, Dr. Morse has some of those resources to share, but I don't know that those resources are voluntary. So one of the big elements there is the legal support for not only establishing the association, but also the follow-up for the practitioners. And that's something that we feel is a pretty prevalent first element to provide to the group / association. Would you care to run some more, Dr. Morse, Ms. Brittany?
Yeah. I'm not sure the time perfect.
That's the answer. Setting examples for associations, I think our association will definitely be the premier, because
Awesome. So back to the mind map. Okay. So we have, again, just kind of the recap on the things that could come from an association. And this is just the start, really looking for further input from happy, enlightened peeps. So, we have the element of tools, just from forms to start. Who knows what else could come as far as tools are concerned. There's the element of buying power that can come from this. If there's certain, say, iridology cameras that we like or what have you, those can be purchased in mass, and because those are actually rather difficult to get in the States, in my limited experience. Those can be purchased in mass and offered for a lower cost to people of the association. Can provide the potential for group client work. Again, it touching on the legal representation. Dr. Morse has some fierce lawyers, and the fact that he's open to sharing that team is a fascinating thing to me. As well, many associations do this, and so this could as well. Build a directory for clients to see where there would be local practitioners, and then as well or specialists, and then as well for us to identify other people in the industry that are around us or not. Maybe we're going someplace and want to meet up with some like-minded peeps. Be a great way to collaborate. As well, like we're seeking here, the creativity power, that is something that can always come from having an association and, for one, a revolving board, but also just from having like summit type events and other elements or channels for which to participate. There's also been the discussion of distribution centers. So, Dr. Morse's herbs, and maybe there's other herbs that we like to see, because this isn't all a Dr. Morse sorcery committee, but there certainly is an emphasis from the understandings that have been gained from Dr. Morse. But now, so distribution centers, the shipping can be tough, particularly when we talk internationally. So as we could work as an association to mitigate some of these issues and bring down shipping costs and, as well, product costs. And it doesn't have to be just herbs. It could be office supplies, like there's power in numbers. So, and then as well, the support that can come from an association, support for the clients and support for the businesses, which are us as practitioners or specialists. And then as well, maybe there's folks who are really hip to it all, but have zero interest in working with clients. Then there's the opportunity for those people to have jobs within the association, from clerical to distribution point positions. It really just opens the field to so many more people to play, which is something I'm always looking to do to support the family, and the family extends beyond this group, of course, and I'm sure it does for all of us, but it's always great to empower the people that we know and give them the opportunity to empower themselves.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
So I think, Brittany, do you have anything to add to that?
No, well said.
So I think running the last of the Dr. Morse video and then opening up for other people to comment and share.
Cool. Yeah.
Word.
That's the answer. It became a civil rights attorney, and she loves a higher consciousness, a federal criminal defense attorney became civil rights attorney. And she loves higher consciousness. She loves
I mean, what more do we need to say? The doctors laid it down.
Yeah, totally. It
So,
is exciting.
I feel it would be great to open this up for commentary.
Yeah. Turned on everybody's cams and mics, so if you go to the side there, you might be able to turn it on for yourself.
Yeah. So, and if there is no interest in mic or camera sharing, please type into the chat box if you have things.
It should be just on your control panel, or maybe it's on the top. Okay, cool. And I'll list the full video interview that these guys had with Dr. Morse here. And sorry, here's the video that we just played, because I know some of it got cut as we were sharing it, but so Stacy asked that anybody can see our website, the Costa Rica Project, and we are protecting some of our info. We have a Google Drive document or a Google Drive folder that a lot of this stuff is going into. So as soon as you want to work in triads, then we give you access to that information. How's it going, Professor Spira?
Greetings. How you doing?
Greetings.
Really enjoyed the presentation. That was getting serious. Getting serious about organizing, and that's what I've been talking about. Dr. Moore's been talking about. A lot of us, we're kind of doing what we can do in our own circles. But definitely appreciate what I'm seeing there. The main notes I was taking was more just concepts about really. I know Dr. Morris, he has his pedagogy and curriculum. I kind of develop curriculum and pedagogy, and that, to be able to bring the different educators together and actually put together a real serious curriculum and pedagogy that can be, it's like on paper, it's tested and proven and all that kind of stuff. In terms of the educational side of things, that'll be, I think that'll be really good to see. Mm. That's all I would add. I would add transition to the to the one educational part. Yeah. But I love the. Now, is there a way you can send that graphic that you guys were using in like put that in a PDF? That would be good.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say to you, interestingly enough, we were having a little conversation about this book, actually, that was recommended about, just our evolution of what we eat and how meat and cooked foods has brought us fear and, just away from our connection. But anyways, the topic got a little, it went into like, Marco, you must have told me that in an out-of-body experience is what Carolyn said. And then Tina, somebody else mentioned how she had a dream last night and you were in it, Professor, and a bunch of, our family was in there, and you mentioned a few books for her to read, but she couldn't remember. So if you have any recommendations.
Give my list. What would be an interesting book that I'd like to see folks is on this consciousness get into is Thomas Kuhn's the Scientific Revolutions book, which is basically it gets into sort of the fallacy of the scientific communities, and the concept of paradigm shift is actually first coined in that book. And we use it for all kinds of stuff now, but he was basically making the analysis saying that scientists within their sort of cloistered communities tend to believe that they are correct until you might have one person that goes and say, well, wait a minute, I did these tests and I don't think that's correct anymore. That challenges the entire paradigm, and it takes a long time to actually get that paradigm to shift. And a lot of what we're doing is paradigm shifting in terms of just in the entire world, but especially in these areas that we're talking about with health and healing and stuff. And so that's one book I think is good for us to look at, because it can get us to challenge the assumptions that we have just about whatever, all these theories, the nutritional theories and all those kind of things. So,
Oh yeah, and you're blowing up. That's awesome. Thanks for the book recommendation. And it's totally. It takes us a little while to catch up to even what we've been finding. you know, the whole quantum physics stuff and all, I mean, everything, it's just, it takes a little while to get there, but we're ready, and, you know, we may be ahead of the curve a little bit, but that's why we're trying to lead the tribe, and there you are. Yeah. It kind of even changed my perspective from being like a health coach. Like, I don't even want to call myself a coach anymore. I just want to be like a health educator, you know, because it's yeah. Yeah. And what Carolyn said is really true to this tribe and what we are doing in this association. I mean, if you guys missed our webinars on tribal leadership, it was basically just us going through our mindset, our perspective from coming more from a place of we. There's different levels, you know, like level 1 is life sucks, and level 2 is my life sucks, and level 3 is I'm great, so coming from that ego center. And so level 4 is where we are now, and in this group, you know, we're getting all these level 3s together and saying, yeah, you are great, but we want you in our tribe, and we want to be great together. And, you know, then we can move to these higher levels, level 5, where, so, yeah, level 5 is life is great, you know, and like level 6 is just you're able to live in the flow, totally manifest, you're living your joy and your purpose, and life's awesome. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are, and yeah, awesome for the mind map if everybody wants to download that.
Nice.
Boyan. Eric.
Oh, what's up? Hi.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hey guys. Look at that.
Damn.
We got fruities in the room.
Yeah.
Brother Matthew, what up?
Hello. We agree with everything. We concur.
Awesome.
But also, like Professor said, got to focus on that transition. Could be some issues if we have these 7-day retreats and you hit everybody with the grapes that never been on the grapes.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about that in the retreat triad, you know, because Natalie's been down to Costa Rica at the Farm of Life, and some people do, you know, why would you want to go down to a retreat and then you just be stuck in the bathroom, you know? So like one thing we're working on is getting people to transition before they come to the retreat, you know, because you're going to be able to dig in deeper anyways. And yeah, what's the purpose of the retreat, right?
It wouldn't be a bad idea holding someone like a 2-week or 1 week or even like a month transitioning retreat. Show people
education and transition.
Yeah, education and transitioning to kind of show
Level
people
1.
how to do it, like
And
get back to the ground, level 1 type.
Yeah, level 1.
Totally. I don't know if you've seen Hilda's program. She has a 5-day detox, like juice program that she just put out, and it's like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like if we could use more of this technology that we will be able to record and just send out, you know, rather than walking people through the same thing over and over and over again, then we can send them those programs. You know, we record videos showing people how to do these things, and yeah, it's just automated, you know, like using the systems and processes that are going to empower us to help empower people.
Because the only concern that I might have with that is as far as a financial point of view, right? Like, we all gotta sustain ourselves with currency, right? Unfortunately.
Hey, we got plenty to do. I don't know.
For the main time, but I'm saying as counselors, not particularly me or us, I'm just speaking in general, it could happen where, like, when you have some kind of program, it might take away the connection you would have with a client if you just tell them, hey, listen, just follow this program.
I see what you mean. It's just, I feel like for certain things that are redundant and played out, you know, it's for me, my energy is more important than walking through somebody like the same thing that I have to walk through every person, you know.
I think that kind of comes back to my point about that's sort of what I'm talking about when I say pedagogy and curriculum. Mm-hmm. Which is actually not separate from marketing, which, like, marketing and education should be right together by, arm in arm, because you can, if you combine sort of an understanding of creative marketing, especially this internet, and I've been getting it more into that now, but I'm sure there's people that are professionals that's what they do, but you combine that with an understanding of how people learn and kind of learning models and that kind of thing, then, you can sort of bring people in. And because I've started to do some of those things with my own, mucus-free life and the stuff that I'm working on with my business, and I'm getting to the point where there's a lot of it that's kind of automated because, and that's what a lot of the folks have done that do all these, 6-week courses, and there's a whole industry online of that kind of thing, but it's all automated. But the first time you make it, you might actually do, say, okay, a 6-week course, and as you make it, you could make it within those 6 weeks. Let's say, okay, I want, like, at a webinar such as this, at the end you say, okay, such and such price range, if you enter in now, then you can be on this 6-week course, and then each week you make a series of videos and resources that you give them, but at the end of that 6-week course, you've recorded everything, so you can there's ways that you can program all of that so that it's 100% automated. So you put the web, as his brother S is out there, the interweb is like the web, like the net. You grab people with your net, you put it out there, and people come, and they actually are basically in a funnel. As some people call it a sales funnel, but it's like they're in this I'd say educational funnel. Mm-hmm. And you can always jump in when necessary, or if there's questions or whatever, you're moderating it. But the system and the course is there, and you can put millions of people through that because it's set up,
And it's like providing people value, right? It's not necessarily just like one service, you're not just necessarily putting out this one program that's totally automated. Like you say, you jump in there, you're moderating it, you hold question and answer sessions, you hold personal coaching sessions, you offer bonuses, and we're getting into marketing, which I could definitely go off on, but it's, you have these core offers that you have, and you can splinter off little things of the core offers to really pull people in. And it's just the sky's the limit, and we have so much to offer people, like we have so much value that we can give. And it's about having fun, like we want to have fun in our life. We want to integrate this. This is our lifestyle, doesn't necessarily work.
now here's a question I have. Structurally, is this, because say if you're working with a lot of different practitioners like me, I have a business and a lot of other folks have businesses, and we kind of do our own thing, then we would look to the association and say, okay, well, how can I align myself, and fit what we do and have a mutually beneficial relationship with an association, and and of course that's talking about a lot of other associations. That's pretty much what happens. Everybody has their own practices and their own thing, but there's some kind of support or some kind of benefit for being a part of the association. But now, a lot of those other associations, are they viewed as, or do they take on nonprofit status, or do they have kind of like, incorporate as a profit entity? And I ask that because we're kind of talking about some of these things. There might be people associated with the association that have for-profit entities, but is the association considered a for-profit or a not-for-profit entity, or would it be? I mean, obviously, I probably got to talk about that. What's been the thoughts on that?
No, it totally needs to be discussed. Everything that I have seen and every association I've been a part of has been a nonprofit. So it seems, a lot of the time, those nonprofits, they end up being ultimately shelters for funds. And then it's a way that we can, as businesses grow, there's that commonality to want to shuffle money so that it doesn't get taxed. And then it's like those associations tend to be one of those places that people get to put the money towards what they're interested in or where their heart or passion is. But it also creates the non-taxable currency shelter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. See the question, and that's do nonprofit mean facilitators don't get paid? Not at all. It's just the accounting has to be above board. You have to have, to really be successful, you have to have people that's a part of the association that do get paid. That if there's enough revenue coming in terms, or enough donations, I guess you won't call it revenue. You call it, there's enough donations and there's enough organization in terms of what is being done with the money. You have a couple accountants that are like full-time people. So they might be a part of the association. They might be external. Sometimes there's a good reason to have them be external, so that it's like there's no insider stuff going on.
Absolutely.
But once it's all organized, then if, for instance, the association got somebody requested, hey, we'd like to have you guys put on a show, or put on some kind of presentation or educational seminar or something, the association can make the decision, either farm it out to one of the for-profit entities that's a part of the association, or if they do something, they would draw from the pool of people that would be available, the facilitators, and then pay the facilitators whatever the going rate is, and it would just all have to show up on the financial statements and the tax stuff. And not only that, the nice thing about the nonprofit is that gets wrote off. So you pay the facilitators, you pay yourself, but the association gets to write that off. So it's in some ways it's playing games. That's what the whole as Dr. Morris was kind of talking about, they with the taxes and the bankers and stuff, they just kind of have created systems for them to play games with people's money. But hey, that's the game.
Play your money.
In the contract.
Right.
Yeah, so Miss Gwen, to answer your question, sorry, brother, just to reiterate that the facilitators not getting paid in the sense of nonprofit, it's not that at all. Like Professor Spira said, it is really, the verbiage is reasonable compensation for volunteers. So a volunteer isn't necessarily somebody that volunteers unwillingly or without any form of compensation. They get reasonable compensation, which to my understanding in most cases is upwards of $200,000 a year. So that's insane. Very reasonable.
Right, yeah, right. Because I know the folks that, how much of the people at the American Cancer Association and what's her name, the pink people and all them, they're making a nice chunk of change running those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You can be totally transparent about it when you think about it too, because if you're expanding out to make these retreats, these distribution centers, well, that's going to need some money into it, right? So if there is extra cash, it's easy to distribute it on paper. I mean, you can, we have 100,000 extra here. Okay, well, how about let's start a retreat right here, or easily to go around that.
Absolutely.
Say about can everybody hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of the association and credibility that is involved with assembling as a unified front, there's a concern for people being associated that make decisions for clients or people that could be harmful for our credibility. And I think that's where there needs to be a common consensus as to what the training is involved with or who's being involved with this. Because if you just say you graduate level 2 Dr. Morse and you take on some clients and you're killing them, and that's harming the association essentially, because that's building up a reputation of it could be harmful for our reputation is all I'm concerned with.
But it isn't the way. Well, and yeah, I agree with that. But I think that's why that's in the framing, and what was emphasized that the framing is going to be that of a, kind of the educational frame or health education, and and that kind of stuff gets tricky, and that's where you get into all the legal kind of stuff. But I think isn't that a little bit different from kind of some of these other associations? They're about overseeing the kind of the interaction and almost almost kind of a big brother effect with like the medical doctors and that kind of stuff, where they can't really, they don't really have a lot of freedom to do anything, and it's not, and their education didn't necessarily, I was gonna say, come directly from that. It's just this big, mass of ignorance in terms of education. But I don't know. It just seems like if it's framed properly, there would be less. That would be less of a problem.
Absolutely.
Has to be education.
And I mean, we are talking about, setting up these systems. So exactly like you said, Matt, it's like somebody graduates from level 2 doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready to work with clients, but we have, we're putting in programs so, you can get there and be supported in that journey. So, because that's definitely a concern that we have, right? And we want it to help create more authenticity and legitimacy behind our practice.
This is one of the things that we discussed before, where say you get a client for the association, well, they have the option to have 3 to 5 or however many specialists working on them. Mm-hmm. Within the 5, you can just include a newbie that just came in to overshadow and see how everything is going on, and they can still give their opinions on the cases, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, when you're working in teams like this, you get to see how different people work with people. You have different skill sets. We have, just different offerings that we can give clients so that they get a better experience, and feel supported.
Yeah. Gwen had mentioned health cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into the cooperative model. I've been on the board of multiple, from a biodiesel cooperative to a housing cooperative, and others, buyers clubs. And I'm a big fan of the cooperative element, particularly because it's there's ownership for everybody. It's a member owner system, and I'm really interested in working with the legal team. Well, ultimately it's a matter of consensus, but should the consensus be there to inquire with the legal team, how does the nonprofit / cooperative thing, how does that possibly gel? Because I don't see why we couldn't all own this thing. It's we don't have to be under the hand of something or anything. It's it could be ours, and we could all vote and we could all have our say, and you know, it's.
You can vote on it, and that's what we're thinking. That's what we're doing here with Fruit Bears and Mountains. I think we're gonna make. I haven't looked into a health cooperative, but I did look into a worker cooperative, and that is it. Like everybody has one share, everybody has one vote, and that can easily be done. I think too on the association where it is in place and everybody can vote on each issue, or we just put a board of directors that everybody can vote on. You know. Oh, here's the panel. Everybody vote on the board of directors who you agree with, right?
Yep.
Sure.
There's also I just discovered this a couple months ago as the Obamacare thing ripples went through culture. There's a few ways to get out of Obamacare. One of them is being affiliated with religious insurance groups, if you will. Mm-hmm. And something that spurred also from this is a health-minded cooperative which acts as insurance, and they pay for things like acupuncture, detoxification, and other health modalities. And I will be inquiring. I was really waiting for meeting with Dr. Morris and this to start inquiring with them and seeing how maybe we can, you know, bump elbows or what have you, and see what they've really got going. But it's a cooperative model for insurance, which is new to me. Mm-hmm.
Okay, wholeness and balanced vibrations for everybody. We have seen the sun outside here, and we're going to take it. So we're going to try to find a nice little trail here and eat the snow or something, you know.
Perfect.
Go Canada.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks, guys. Cool. Well, yeah, I don't know. Does anybody else have anything to talk about right now, or we might close this up?
So what's the next step? Is it kind of to keep doing some of these meetings, or have some more, bring Dr. Morris in on one, or, you know, kind of just keep brainstorming, or?
Yeah, the next step would be, you know, just we want to call people to action and working in these triads. So, Jason, what do you feel the next step is?
Just as was stated, there's a list of things that we're working on in the frame. It's all framework right now, and what we have on our agenda is running a mock immersion or retreat. So we'll be going to Costa Rica the first week. There's 3 of us, I believe, at this point, that are going to Costa Rica, and we will be working with a woman who has a little hotel, and she's going to be studying from Dr. Morris soon, but she wants to really just get this going. And so we'll be running a mock retreat there while we're also working on framework. So we've been pretty much putting a call out to people in the level 2 group that is on Facebook. That is, but we've identified that it's time to go beyond that, and it's all in the midst. So I'm not saying that we know exactly how or where we're going beyond that to seek ultimately volunteers at this point in time, but that's where it's at, and ultimately identifying more next steps. Well, we're doing our best to keep it simple, because we have put together quite the framework in the last 4 months on like a global enterprise. It's ultimately just nailing out each little bit, and as we come together, more of these things will be shared more. We just wanted to get out the gist from what Dr. Morse, from what our encounter with Dr. Morse was. It took us about, and in regards to meeting with Dr. Morse again, I think that's a great idea, and it takes about 2 to 3 months to get in on a schedule. So it's probably a good time to like book one now and see about getting him in on something like this in the next couple of months. He's gung ho, man. It's mind blowing. Yeah, it was really positive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we can share at some point. We have it written out, this table of, the association member levels. I don't know if that's a great word for it, but because we have, if you're just interested in supporting, being a friend or affiliate versus a practitioner with different benefits, there's all these different possibilities to joining the association. And so we have Carolyn's done great work on that. But there's just so many different areas, and right now, I don't know how many hours you're putting in, Jason, but it seems like putting maybe 10 to 15 hours a week of triads meetings. And so, we're just trying to, we're going to start doing like some more webinars and trying to get these things compensated financially, so we can start, just creating more of the flow of energy that we need. And Stacy, you're definitely welcome, for sure.
Yeah, and if there's anybody else in the webinar now that is not a part of the level 2 group, because we currently post to there, if you're not a part of the level 2 group and would like to be made aware of upcoming happenings, please let it be known.
Yeah, keep letting me know.
Cool.
You got it, bro.
You're in our community, in our dream world, so.
Yeah, right. The vibrations are all honed in.
Totally. This is it's cool too, because this family that we're connected with right here right now is, we're all on the same level. We're all thinking the same things and have been thinking the same things for years. It's just nuts, and it's kind of bringing tears to my eyes right now, just how beautiful it is. So, but I'm looking forward to creating a bunch of cool shit with all you people. Breathe it out.
Cool.
Well, I think I gotta go play outside with my kids, so. Thank you everyone for coming.
Much respect. Thank you.
Brother One, is there anything else you got? No? All right. Well, we just invite everyone to take with you one idea that you want to immediately put into action and go with it. So again, I want to say thank you to everyone coming in, and thank you, Jason, Brother One, for co-hosting this. And thank all of you for coming. If you want more information, you can visit our website at thecostaricaproject.com. We do have a donate button if you're interested. Otherwise, just getting involved is going to help a lot. We have our past webinar on tribal leadership that's up there, and it's really that's kind of the framework that we're working from, the language that we're using. So it's pretty cool to check out. And check out the rest of those Morse videos if you want. I'll post it